It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Welcome to The Sam Lesante Show, folks. Remember, 24/7, all of our shows. Download our app. All of the shows are on our app. And also, folks, if you know people that do not have cable, you can watch us anywhere in the world now. Just download YouTube, search SSP TV, and you'll watch all our shows. And if you're Hispanic and you want to translate the shows in Spanish, we have them translated for you. My guest today, no stranger to the Sam Lesante Show, my good friend Blaise Greco, Greco Brokerage. Now, folks, financial information. I want to read to you his mission statement, and believe me, he lives by this. And his mission statement, okay, is to treat our clients with honesty and integrity by doing the right thing, to do what we say and to say what we mean, to make wise choices by comparison shopping the best products and price for our clients. The line between right and wrong is not blurred at Greco Brokerage, and his phone number is on the screen, 570-401-6008. You know, folks, he's been in the business 30 years. He wouldn't be on this show if he wasn't credible. I'll guarantee you that. We've had him on a number of times, and some of you have called for information. He has a website. It's grecobrokerage.com. All the information's on there. But today we're going to talk about some interesting things, serious things. Blaise, nice to see you.
Good seeing you, Sammy.
How's your wife? And
she's good.
Family.
Yep.
Your son got married, right?
Yep, and we were all up for a little get-together for see the whole family.
He's doing okay? Married life's okay?
Yeah, he seems to be.
Yeah, that's good. I talked about, there's so much to be said. You're a financial advisor, okay? So, and I think of this big umbrella that you have, okay, and everything underneath it, there's all these different things that people may have questions with, okay, when it comes to financial. But today, we want to look at some examples, all right, and some of the things. So let's talk about your son. What happened with him?
So as you know, back in my early days, I was with Metropolitan. And at the time when our son was born in 1990, I bought a traditional whole life policy with a paid-up addition rider, which essentially means that it's part premium for the insurance and part like a savings that buys additional insurance and builds cash values. And I wanted to get into this and talk about just how this worked and talk about this is a live example. We hear about is life insurance a good investment? Should I buy it? Shouldn't I buy it? What's the difference between whole life? I think this illustrates the living benefits of whole life insurance, why it could be a good idea. Also, we talked about gift of love. So this could go from a parent to a child via grandparent to a child. And this example is $1,000 a year. You'll notice it's showing a $100,000 face amount and then $397 premium with an $8 disability waiver charge for a total premium of $405. But I said the premium was $1,000. So the $595 is the additional money that will go in this paid-up additions rider. And paid-up additions riders are very available today. In fact, they're being used a lot. It's a way to put more money in a life insurance policy, to shelter it from taxes, to build death benefit, to build cash values. So in this case, I've put into this policy $1,000 for 28 consecutive years. Now to back up a little bit, I want to talk about, I always say, the fine intricacies of life insurance that people don't understand. So let's start with the disability provision. So one of my old mentors, boss, if you will, manager, used to always say, one of three things is going to happen to us all. We're going to live too long, okay? We're going to die too soon, or we're going to become disabled. And I always liked that analogy because he used to say, and this plan is self-completing, in that if you die too soon, it's going to pay. If you live too long, there's going to be a nice cash value. And if you become disabled, and this is the important thing, with the disability provision on this policy, it will not only put in the premium of the $397 and the $8, which is the $405, but the whole $1,000. So say somebody, God forbid, got in an auto accident, something happened, whatever, they're chronically ill, they develop some kind of rare disease. as long as they're living and they can't work and this policy will be self-completing and it will keep putting the $1,000 in. I think that's pretty impressive. And so if we, go ahead. Do you have
So what's happening is, so you're saying now you did that when Blaise was born. Okay?
80, yeah.
All right. So now if I have, let's assume I have some children, okay, and they're 4 years old, 5 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old, okay, can I do something for them?
Absolutely. And the point of this is the mortality cost of insurance is minuscule. Okay. So more of the money's being compounded. And when you look at what this has done moving forward, I think I'd beg to differ than anybody be able to say it's not impressive.
Some people like to give gifts to their grandchildren. I mean, I do that to my grandchildren. I bought insurances when they were all born, including my children. So they could build up for college, etc. So sometimes a person, they want to do something for their grandchildren. Well, I think something like this is perfect for them, okay, because it's something that's securing them and it's an investment. Am I correct?
Absolutely, and I'm glad you brought that up because my wife, one of the reasons she sees a statement coming in, I'll show her something. She says, boy, back in the day, she was always with the here and the now. The Christmas tree had to be filled, the Easter bunny basket had to be filled, and she was out with her sister shopping. And when you think about $1,000 a year, really, in today, I mean, that's not a lot of money. You think of a kid having a birthday party and aunts and uncles come. I mean, you could put that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nothing.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's opportunities today to do a lot for your children, grandchildren, or friends that you, whatever, guardians or whatever, that are available. So that's, in the disability provision it falls in there. Moving on, okay, so as to when we're talking about taxes and deferrals and loan provisions and increasing stuff that people don't understand. I said before the show, we don't want to get too, because there's so much involved.
Right.
You really need a one-on-one with Blaise Greco.
Sure.
I mean, you got to be able to say, Blaise, here's my phone number. I have a question.
This is to whet your appetite.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So let's go on to some other areas that,
Okay, so like we talk about tax deferral. So, and I'm going to touch on the cash values at the end. Because like you said, let's talk about, so, life insurance builds tax deferred. So you don't have to pay any tax. So as that's compounding up in there, there's no tax. There's also loan provisions. So if somebody needs to take money out, a kid needs money for a car, or he's going to college, or you want to borrow money, you have a loan provision within the policy. You have collateral assignment, which I'm sure over the years you're familiar with, where you put, use the life insurance as collateral for the bank, either in the form of an asset or the form of death benefit. So if you're doing a business deal and they say, hey, we need $300,000 or $400,000, you could pledge this, and as the loan gets paid down, so it could have a.
So let me ask you a very important question. If a person is paying a mortgage, all right, and the mortgage now paid off,
right?
They're excited about it, and they're used to paying $800 a month.
Right.
Okay, they were paying that mortgage. Unfortunately, some of those people are in their 50s that are paid off their home, or early 60s. Okay, so now I'm in the habit of paying $800 a month. What can I do with that money? Okay, to make it beneficial to me. Okay, do I buy whole life? Do I put in an annuity? Because I'm in that habit of paying $800 a month. Okay, what do you recommend?
Well, I mean, it's an excellent question, and I think it depends on what they want to do. Maybe some people say, hey, I paid my mortgage, I want to spend the money, or maybe they're putting kids in college now and they need it for that, or they need a second car. But to answer, if they have the money and they're looking to invest it, I mean, the obvious choice is sure they can consider a whole life that they could, because now these policies today, you can buy a whole life. As you remember, we talked about dial-up whole life. Just like dialing a phone, you come to me and say, I want to pay 5 years, 8, 10, 12. So maybe you say, I'm going to have this $800. I want to pay for 5 years, buy what it could buy me. 10 years, buy what it could buy me. And you could have a whole life policy, or any type of insurance policy for that matter. Or, they could pick mutual funds, they could pick stocks, they can do whatever, they could pick an annuity. It depends where their safety lies and what they're trying to achieve, but that's an excellent idea because you're conditioned to spend the $800.
So one of my concerns is as we get older, okay, so my friends who are seniors out there, I mean, we hope they live a long time, but there's funeral expenses, okay, and they don't want to have a burden on the family, okay?
Right.
An average funeral today maybe $10,000, $12,000, okay? So now you see these commercials on, you know, for funeral expenses, you pay X dollars. So there's an opportunity, I think, that you could have for these people that would protect them so it wouldn't be a burden on their family when they die and they have funeral expenses. I'm sure you do have that.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that a little up. Yeah, we're going to talk more about that too.
Okay.
About final expense policies,
Yes.
graded life insurance.
Yeah.
Because last time we had a lot of people calling, so
Yeah.
obviously that's an interest. Couple other quick things I want to talk about. Not on this policy, but they've come out with accelerated death benefit and chronic illness riders. A lot of the insurance companies on these policies. So. Like I said, this won't have it because it was a 1990 issue, and this is a whole nother show, accelerated death benefit, chronic illness rider, but let me just say this. So in short, what you can do, just say you have a death benefit of 300,000, 100,000, 50, whatever it is, you can invade the death benefit if you're terminally ill and you're dying, and you can do that like 1 year with the doctor's written verification. The chronic illness rider, if 2 of the ADLs you cannot do, the chronic illness rider, you can invade the death benefit as well. Now this is invading and it's tax-free if it's done properly. And this can be used, as we spoke before, now I don't want to confuse it with a long-term care policy, but chronic illness rider could be used for expenses, could be used for home care, could be used for nursing home care, as long as 2 of the ADLs. And the insurance companies that have these on their policies are not charging you any extra. Because they've got around this with the IRS, and
So if a person has a chronic illness,
right,
you have something available to them.
Oh yeah, and I mean if it isn't in the form of long-term care policy or a LTC on a life insurance chassis, we have chronic illness rider at the bare minimum on a life insurance policy.
Yeah,
as long as they could qualify. Most can.
Folks, I'm talking to Blaise Greco from Greco Brokerage. There's so much, okay, that's available today, and sometimes you hear all this stuff and you get confused. We make it simple for you. There is a purpose for everything that we want to do, particularly when it comes to financial seniors, for example, who are, you know, want to protect themselves, want to have some kind of security, particularly, you know, funeral expenses, so you may or may not have it. My suggestion is, like I do, I pick up the phone and dial 570-401-6008. Blaise, I have a question about this, okay? If you leave the service, he's going to get back to you. Then I go to his website. I go to GrecoBrokerage.com and see some things, okay? He's sort of like he is a financial advisor, but can give you all these different things that can help you. Take a break. We'll be back after this for more information. Thanks for staying with us, folks. The Sam Lesante Show, seen 24/7 on SSP TV. Remember our app, search SSP TV. Folks, on our app, when you go to our app, you're going to see a lot of shows that health shows, informational shows, and that's the difference with our app, I think, with a lot of other apps, because we give you information, what's happening in your neighborhood. For example, my guest today, Blaise Greco from Greco Brokerage. There's so much to be said in keeping, you know, your insurances, your financial concerns. He's a financial advisor, been around for 30 years. Wouldn't be on this show if he wasn't credible, and he's very honest. That's the important thing. This guy's not going to hound you. He's going to listen to what you have to say. I want to put his phone number on the screen. Take advantage of his services, and he doesn't charge you. You talked about your son, okay? You bought a policy when he was born. So what's it worth today?
Yeah, so just to give an example, I said about the $1,000 that we put in. So, you know, he's 28 years old, so it has a $50,000 cash value and an increased death benefit of to $289,000. So it's almost 3 times the death benefit.
So you see, when I'm trying to, you know, with our viewers, okay, we talked about young people. You know, unfortunately, young people are dying, which is very sad. Why should young people have insurance, Blaise?
Well, you know, 2 things come to mind. Number one, they have this responsibility And the young people, for whatever reason, don't seem to be as insurance conscious as my generation or the generation before them. In a case like this, if somebody bought this or it was a gift of love and a grandparent or father bought it, this, is always going to be there, and they're going to have this insurance through the years. They could add to it or buy more. Secondly, I mean, with all the the mortgage, children going to college. I mean, even with term insurance, I don't completely understand why young people aren't more receptive. They really should be.
You know what gets me sometimes, and I'm not knocking by no means, but when you're talking about financial information, that's critical stuff. That's personal stuff that people have. I mean, some people got ripped off over the years from people that were not like you, honest. And then you hear these commercials on television, give us a call, and they're online and over the phone, and I just don't believe in that stuff. I think you should go to if you're going to buy car insurance, get it from a person that you could talk to, that you're talking to, you're talking to Blaise Greco. And I'm not knocking, I'm just saying my philosophy is I want to know who I'm dealing with, okay? So we mentioned about the fact that you may have a person who maybe 60s, all right, and they have to look at their expenses. God forbid if I should die, do I have enough to cover my expenses? Do I have enough to cover the funeral? I'm being redundant, but so now I look at that and say, well, Blaise, I don't think I have that. What do you have for me that would cover these? Okay, so that's where I get, you become tailor-made, for specifics.
Okay, well, so on previous shows we talked about final expense insurance or guaranteed issue with no medical exam. Okay. So, in this particular market segment, I'm finding out that it's becoming more popular. You're exactly right. There's a lot of people that called from the show, and it's usually people 60s, 70s, approaching 80, saying, I just want to have something.
Sure.
Okay. So as an example, I did a couple things here. So I want you to go to this page in this national company that you recognize. We're not going to mention it on air, but you'll come up to that page. There it is, right there. Okay. So this is a company, you see that company, you see them on TV, you see them on the internet. Okay, well, real quick, I want to just point out, so I had a buddy of mine call me. I'll make this story short. He talks with a raspy voice. I got a company and blah, blah, blah. So I said, well, could we call the 800 number? I'm shortening the story. I said, we'll do a three-way call. I do this a lot with clients. So we call, and I tell him is my client, the friend, and he's telling me I want to try to understand this. Well, the lady sends me the information and talks on the phone. So your coverage is a term to age 90 life insurance policy, and the beneficiary select is paid directly free of federal income tax. Okay, so when I questioned the lady, the reason he was telling me this premium's dirt cheap. Well, every 5 years it increases. And at 90 years old, you have no insurance. So when I further questioned her, she said, well, do you have a whole life product? Yes, I do. And when she gave me the rates, I'm here to tell you and tell your viewers that I have 3 or 4 companies in my brokerage that obliviate this. I mean, so and here's the thing. And so you're dealing with an 800 number. You're getting, Betty Sue or Tommy Joe. You can call me. I could come to your house. I can deal with you. You know me. I'm from Hazleton. I mean,
this is the thing where people are getting burnt. I mean, we're doing this show. It's 25 minutes. And we're trying to cover as much as we can. And that's 25 minutes. How the hell could you learn something in a 60-second commercial or a 2-minute commercial, especially when they get a celebrity that they paid $1 billion, maybe, I'm just using that. So that's where they get duped. Okay,
they're distorting the facts.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I'm not knocking these insurance because this company is a good company. But what you're saying is you have all these insurance companies that you're looking at with an open field.
Well, I have at least 5 others, and I have a good example to show what I'm talking about.
So when I call you and I say, Blaise, before I make this call, etc., and again, I'm not knocking these companies, nor am I knocking celebrities. I'm saying when I'm talking about me paying money, particularly with these car insurances that just drive me crazy. Okay. It's concerning to me that I'm dealing with a person who is honest and giving me the facts, okay? Am I correct?
Yes, and you need to read the fine print. That's the, that's the thing. I mean, over here it says, your initial premium is based on your age at issue. Premiums increase as you enter each new 5-year age period.
Yeah.
So, so my buddies was, like I said, with the raspberry, he just one of them kind of guy, nice guy. But the point is, he didn't have all the facts, and so that's why it's dirt cheap, because you're thinking you're buying something and it's going to keep going up. And more importantly, if you say I won't live to be 90, well, okay, but the point is you don't have any insurance then. So just so you know all your facts.
Yeah, and I think here again. I talked to you about something prior to the show, and I said, Blaise, I want to do something with my insurance, et cetera, et cetera. And I told you, and you said to me, Sam, well, why don't you do this, okay? And then you mentioned that.
Yeah, I could tell the viewers, and that's important. You want me to elaborate?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because I want people to know that they should call you, okay? When you
were unaware of that.
Yeah,
it existed.
Now, I would have done that.
And you would have paid tax.
I would have paid taxes on that.
And you didn't have to.
And I didn't have to. Okay, so this is what I'm saying, where the importance of this show is, and I tell people, oh yeah, it's because it's your company, you want them down. I want them to download it because I've saved lives with our health shows. And here's Blaise Greco, who is giving information about finances. Okay, forget about the guy is, he has 30 years of experience. The phone number's on the screen, his website's on the screen. I think that's critical stuff, Blaise.
I love this stuff.
I was just going to say,
I'm good at it. I enjoy it. I'm helping people. How can't you feel good about helping people?
Well, you're passionate about it.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm winning.
Yeah,
I'm winning.
Yeah.
As I told you before, I'm winning.
Yeah, it's funny. A person says, especially a doctor, well, he brags too much. So you ask the doctor, well, doctor, I have this disease, do you think you can help? And the doctor says, well, I think I can do that. You don't want to hear that. You want to say, I'm the best at it. This is what I do. Don't worry about it. And that's what you're saying as far as financial advice and insurance is concerned.
Well, cocky confidence comes from success, and I'm having it.
You are.
Lots of it.
I'm going to take a break, folks. A lot more with Blaise Greco. I'm just going to say this, folks. Give him a call. Number is on the screen. You have a question, not going to charge you 1 cent, and you're going to get the honest. And if he doesn't, you call me, okay? We'll be right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show for important information today on finances. My guest, Blaise Greco from the Greco Brokerage. His website, grecobrokerage.com. Phone number is on the screen, 570-401-6008. We're talking about different age groups and different things. Here's a person 74 years old. What happened with that person?
Yeah, this is we'll give you a good, quick story. So we have a husband and wife, both 74, okay?
True story, folks. It's a true story.
This is an actual case. So she called me. She basically said, I'm having some issues with my other insurance. I want to get something that will be paid up, that I don't have to worry about. So she says, I want to be honest with you. She says, I'm looking at Mutual of Omaha. And she says, and I says, well, I could get Mutual of Omaha, I said, you want Mutual of Omaha? She goes, oh, could you get Mutual? You're my friend. And she says, yeah. So I said, okay. So essentially, I looked at Mutual of Omaha. I looked at Gerber. I looked at KSKJ Life. And we had a quote, I don't sell, but she had a quote of Globe through the mail. So long story short, I elected to write KSKJ Life and Omaha based on the medical findings of her and her husband. And, they did have some medical situation. The husband had renal cancer, had a kidney removed, no chemotherapy, but he did have it removed. And the wife had a stent put in, okay? So just really quickly with these prices, I just want to run down. So Gerber, 211, KSKJ, 146, KSKJ in a tier 2, 187, Omaha 164, Globe 173. The cheapest being KSKJ Life tier 1, okay? Long story short, and Sam could put these numbers up and the people could look at it. It has the husband and the wife and they could study it a little more. The other side, 287, 178, 244, 228. The point is, KSKJ tier 1, I got it issued, 146 on the wife, 178 on the husband. Story gets better. So we said we had Omaha at 164 and 228, which is still more, by $60 more. They issued the policy, but under a modified contract. Modified means it's more expensive, so it was over $200 a month more, which is $2,400 a year more, and we got it cheaper, and she got more coverage because they reduced the coverage, and she wouldn't have had coverage for 2 years because you just get your money back plus interest. And this is why I say it's important. I got them day one death benefit.
Is this any less than the other ones? Is this,
Yes.
No, as far as less coverage or less
No,
insurance.
no,
Okay,
no,
because
no,
sometimes people
more
think-
coverage in this case.
Okay,
More coverage.
so people would think, oh my God, I'm
She
paying
got
less.
$10,000 more between her and her
So she's
husband
paying
for
less.
$200 less.
She's paying less. Her and her husband saving over $200 a month,
Correct.
$2,400 a year.
Yes.
Plus she's getting more. Okay, because you were able to search and get those particular things.
Yes.
Folks, this is what I'm trying to say. There's so many things that we're involved with, particularly, you know, your seniors. They like to prey on you. Okay, you need to deal with somebody who is trustworthy, someone who is concerned and not. He doesn't think dollar signs when you call. He gives you what you need. Okay, and so that's why I highly recommend give him a call, 570-401-6008. Go to his website, GrecoBrokerage.com. We'll have him back on the show again to explain other things. Blaise, always nice to see you.
Yeah, pleasure.
Give my best
Great.
to your wife, okay? We
Yes.
appreciate that very much. So, we'll see you next time, folks.